Good morning. Welcome to the class. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to second PUC class, biology. You know that very well. As per your syllabus, in first PUC, you have studied biology with 5 different units, and in second PUC also, you have to study 5 units. Okay, and you know that very well, and so biology, since it is practical subject, you have questions. You will get questions 70 marks in theory and 30 marks for practicals. So that is what you have already studied. Now, as per as the second PUC syllabus is concerned, first of all, you have to understand about second PUC syllabus. What is the syllabus introduced for second PUC biology? Okay, now just now I told you, you have got 5 different units in your syllabus. Okay, just I will list out the syllabus here. Okay, your unit and name of the unit and marks weightage for each unit and for each lesson. Unit number 1, so that is reproduction. You have to understand in detail about reproduction in this unit, and in this reproduction you have to study 4 lessons. First one is reproduction in organisms. So this is your first lesson from unit number 1, and similarly second lesson is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So this is second lesson, and the third one is human reproduction, and fourth one is reproductive health. So these are 4 different lessons in this unit, first unit. So in the examination, theory examination, you will get 5 marks questions from this first lesson, and so you will get 8 marks questions from this second lesson, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants, and 7 marks questions from this human reproduction, and next to reproductive health. So for this lesson you will get 5 marks questions. So total you will get 25 marks questions from unit number 1. Okay, so this is the marks weightage for first unit. Okay, 22 marks weightage, sorry, 22 marks, you will get 22 marks questions from this unit. No dealing. So 25 marks. 25. Please look here. 5 marks, 8 marks, 7 marks, and 5 marks. 25 marks questions you will get it in the examination from this unit. Okay, and next one is next unit. Your second unit is genetics and evolution. Unit number 2 is genetics and evolution. So from this unit you have to study 3 different lessons. Okay, we have already studied in your 10th standard regarding this genetics and evolution. Okay, so brief concepts you have studied, and the same elaborated concept you have to understand in second PUC. Here, the first lesson is principles of inheritance. Principles of inheritance and variation. Principles of inheritance and variation is the first lesson. Okay, inheritance, you know that very well, you have already studied in 10th standard. Inheritance is the transfer of characteristics, parental characteristics to the next generation. Okay, what are the principles for this inheritance of a characteristics? And next lesson is molecular basis of inheritance. Molecular basis of inheritance, this is your second lesson. And third lesson from this unit is evolution. Okay, so these are 3 different lessons which you have to study from unit number 2. Okay, for first lesson you have got 10 marks weightage, and for second lesson 10 marks weightage, and for evolution you have got 5 marks weightage. So total, again from this unit also you will get 25 marks questions. Okay, from second unit also you will get 25 marks questions in theory examination. And let us move to next unit, that is unit number 3. Okay, so that is biology in human welfare. Biology in human welfare. So this is unit number 3. So here you have to study 3 different lessons. One is human health and diseases. Human health and diseases. It means you have to understand about the meaning of a health and what are the conditions necessary to maintain a good health, and what are the different diseases which can affect human being, and how human being can protect himself, okay, by the system known as a defense system. So all these things you have to understand in this lesson. And second lesson is for the survival of the man. Okay, food is necessary. Okay, but nowadays what is happening, the area of growing food is decreasing, and the government and the science is trying to enhance the production of a food. So therefore, what are the strategies we have to follow? Strategies for enhancement. Strategies for enhancement. Strategies for enhancement of food production. Food production. Okay, so this is your second lesson from this unit number 3. And third lesson is microbes in human welfare. Microbes in human welfare. Okay, so microbes, when we hear the word microbes, we feel that they are all harmful. But all microorganisms are not harmful to the human being. There are microorganisms which are very important for the welfare of the human being. So that you have to understand that where are these microorganisms can be used for the welfare of the human being. So for this unit, marks weightage is, you will get 8 marks questions in the examination from this first lesson. And again, so 8 marks questions from second lesson, and from third lesson you will get 6 marks questions. Total weightage or marks weightage from this unit is 22 marks. Okay, so this is your unit number 3. And next unit after this, next unit is biotechnology. So unit number 4, biotechnology, little bit application type and advanced concept. You have to understand it very well. So from this unit, a small unit which has got only 2 lessons. One is biotechnology So here you have to understand about principles and processes. Principles and processes. It means you have to understand about the principles of biotechnology and what are the different processes which are involved in biotechnology. And second lesson is biotechnology and its applications. Okay, so only these are 2 lessons which you have to study from this unit, and for this unit marks weightage is 6 marks for this principles and processes and applications of biotechnology. So for this 5 marks weightage, so that total you will get 11 marks questions from this unit number 4. And next unit number 5, that is ecology. Okay, from this unit you have to study 4 different lessons again. One is organisms and populations. Organisms and populations. Second one is ecosystem, which we have already studied in 10th standard. Ecosystem. And the next one is biodiversity and conservation. Biodiversity and conservation. And next one is environmental issues. Environmental issues. So this is your 4th lesson. Okay, from this ecology 5th unit you have to study these 4 lessons, and for this organisms, if you see the name you can understand certain things. Here you have to understand about organism, how it survives and what are the conditions which are required for the organism to survive. And next one is group of individuals is called as population and characteristics of populations. And when group of individuals are present, there is a kind of interaction. That is what population interaction you have to study. Okay. So from this unit you will get 6 marks questions, and from ecosystem again you will get 6 marks questions. Biodiversity, okay, it means you have to understand about organisms, different variety and variability among living organisms. Okay, that is nothing but a biodiversity, and biodiversity is very much necessary and it has to be protected. So that is nothing but a conservation, and from this lesson you will get 4 marks questions. And environmental issues, so this is last lesson and a very important one, and everybody should know this regarding the issues and how the issues has to be controlled. So that is what environmental issues. From this lesson also you will get 6 marks questions. Total weightage is 22 marks. Okay, ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ so these are all different marks weightage for second PUC biology syllabus. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು 25 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ಲಿಂದ ಕೂಡ 25 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ only for 70 marks. The reason is in part B, part C, okay, sections will be there in the question paper. Okay, so there are sufficient choices given to you people, and you can choose the question for which you can answer better, and for that you have to answer well. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತಂದರೆ out of 105 marks questions which will be there in the question paper, you have to answer only for the 70 marks. Okay, so this is about your content, syllabus content for second PUC biology. Okay, so now let us start with your first unit, that is reproduction. Okay, shall I start your first unit, reproduction? Okay, now let us see this first unit, reproduction. So now let us begin with your unit number 1, that is reproduction. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಶಬ್ದನ ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶಬ್ದನ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನೀವು ಲೋಯರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಂದನೇ ಓದ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಈಗ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಯುವರ್ 3rd standard, 4th standard, ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ whole process of reproduction. So you know that very well. Just now I told you, in this, from this unit you will get to 25 marks questions. It means there are 4 different lessons. In this we'll begin with your chapter 1 or lesson 1, that is reproduction. In reproduction in organisms. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಿದ್ರಿ ಈಗ, ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬರೆದ ಮೇಲೆ ಲೆಸನ್ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗ, ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಹೆಸರು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ರೀಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟದಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಜನರಲ್ ಒನ್. How reproduction takes place in different group of organisms. Okay, so that is what you have to understand. Here it is a completely general concept, so you must know about the meaning of a definition, meaning of a reproduction, and what are the different types of reproductions which takes place in different group of organisms. Okay, so from this lesson you should understand about 3 important concepts. One is called as life cycle, lifespan. So you should understand about lifespan of the organisms. Okay, and you should know about reproduction and different types of reproductions. Okay, so here let us understand first what is the meaning of this lifespan. Every organism, every species has got its own lifespan. Then what is the meaning of lifespan? Lifespan is a period from birth to natural death. Natural death. So this is the definition for lifespan. So you have to understand the meaning here. Birth to natural death. I did not say only death. Instead of that I used the word natural death. Every individual has to die naturally, but some individuals will die because of other reasons. Okay, some small animals may become food for some larger animals. Okay, that is different. Some animals will die because of accident. Some animals will be killed. That cannot become a lifespan. It has to die naturally because of degradation of some metabolic activities in the body. So that is what we call it as a lifespan. Okay, and in this lifespan of organisms, okay, there are different phases. Organisms will pass through various phases during their lifespan. What are the different phases or different stages? Now let us see this. When individual takes a birth, and after birth, okay, every individual, it starts, they start their young age. We can call it as a young individual. When it takes a birth, then it becomes a young individual, or otherwise we can call it as a juvenile. This phase is called as a juvenile phase. And after juvenile phase, it grows and the individual attains maturity. Okay, and that phase is called as a reproductive phase. When it attains the reproductive age, that is nothing but a reproductive phase. During this phase, the individual starts reproducing and it produces the number of individuals, okay, throughout this reproductive phase. And afterwards, the individual becomes old. Okay, that is nothing but old age, or it is also called as senescence phase, which we have already studied in first PUC. The word, we have come across the word senescence. Okay, and after this old age, then the individual, okay, its metabolic activities will be degraded, and finally, ultimately, it leads to death. So this sequence, when the individual follows this sequence, then it becomes, okay, natural death occurs here. Okay, so this total period from birth to natural death, what we call it as a lifespan of an individual. Okay, and this lifespan, what happens here? It is quite different. It is different in different organisms. It is different in different organisms. It is not same in all individuals. Definitely it will be different. How it is different? Some organisms have got somehow very short lifespan. Very short lifespan. Some have very short lifespan. How they have got a short lifespan? What are the examples? When I say this, some have a very short lifespan, then you will be curious to know about some of the examples. Okay, for example, okay, as per your textbook, some will complete their life cycle within some hours, few hours. Okay, for example, I can tell you a example like mayfly is an insect which can complete their life cycle within 24 hours. Mayfly can complete their life cycle within 24 hours. Takes birth, just remember, it takes birth, okay, it becomes young, grows into adult, starts reproducing, and afterwards becomes old, and it will die within 24 hours duration only. Okay, so therefore its life cycle will be finished in a day. Therefore this insect is known as a one-day insect. So let us understand how the insect will enjoy its life within 24 hours. But some organisms have got very long lifespan. Some will have very long lifespan. Very long lifespan. For example, banyan tree, peepal tree, they have got a very long lifespan. So like this, lifespan is different in different organisms, for which in your textbook, NCERT textbook, they have quoted certain examples. Okay, the individuals which have got different lifespans, some examples. So you have to understand, you should know the organisms and their lifespan, which is given exactly in the textbook and which is very very important from the point of competitive examinations. Okay, before that I will tell you one more thing is, and some organisms, their body size is similar, but their lifespan will not be same. Size of the organisms cannot correlate. Size of the individuals cannot correlate with lifespan. Size of the organisms cannot correlate with the lifespan. It means if size is same, then lifespan will not be same. Lifespan will be different. For this, in our textbook they have mentioned an example. For example, crow. Okay, so its lifespan will be some 15 years. Okay, 15 years. And next one is parrot. You can take a parrot. So this will survive for 140 years. So like this, lifespan is definitely different from some organism to organism. We can understand here, the size is the same here in these two organisms, but lifespan is quite different. So in this way we can understand that lifespan of organisms are different from one to another. Okay, so these are all lifespan of different organisms. Okay, now ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಜ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ಲು ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಇರೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ದೊಳಗಡೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಇದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೀಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಾರಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಯಾಲಜಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗ. ಆವಾಗಲೇ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ನಮಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್. ನೋಡಿ, examples. Next, lifespan. ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನಂಬರ್ 1, ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈ. This insect, it will complete its life cycle within 1 to 2 weeks. 1 to 2 weeks. Second one, crow will complete its lifespan within 15 years, as I told you already. And next one is parrot, 140 years. Okay, so this is one. And next one is dog, will complete its life cycle within 25 years. Okay, and next one is crocodile. Crocodile will complete its life cycle within 60 years. 60 years. And next example is tortoise. Okay, tortoise will complete its life cycle within 100 to 150 years. Just remember which has got highest lifespan. Next one is people tree. So its lifespan will be 200 years. Okay, so like this, these are all different examples of lifespan of different organisms. Okay, this you should know, right? So this is about lifespan of various organisms. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ಯುವರ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ವಿದಿನ್ 2 weeks. And another one is mayfly can complete its life cycle within 24 hours. Okay, some individuals live for many years, 100 to 150 years. Even then, whatever the lifespan may be, whatever the lifespan it may be, but death is death. Yavaga? After the, at least after the completion of this number of years, the individual has to die. So therefore, death is certainty. Death is certainty. Death is definite. Okay, ಯಾರು ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದು ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಜೀವಿಯೂ ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದರಿಂದ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಎಡಿಷನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್, ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಈಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಜೀವಿ ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಡೈ. So therefore, no individual is immortal. Please read this. No individual is immortal. No individual is immortal. It means every individual has to die. Death is certainty. So the meaning of death is certainty. Another the meaning is no individual is immortal except single-celled organisms, unicellular organisms, single-celled organisms. Except single-celled organisms, you know that very well. There is no death for these unicellular or organisms or single-celled organisms, because the individual, when single-celled organism is there, and it will, what happens to this, and it will divide, and there is a formation of 2 daughter cells, and these daughter cells becomes new individuals. When the individual becomes when individual completes its lifespan, it is going to be complete its lifespan, and it will divide, and there is a formation of 2 daughter cells, and again they start fresh life, new life. So therefore there is no death for this unicellular organisms or single celled organisms. So this is all about lifespan in brief, okay, as per your textbook, as per your syllabus. Nothing more than this regarding lifespan. And you may get question, okay, from this content only, and you have to understand all these things. Question, you may get question, you may not get question, but you should know the content which is there in the syllabus textbook. Okay, so this is about lifespan. And after this, let's understand next very important aspect of your syllabus, that is reproduction. Okay, now reproduction. First of all, you have to understand about definition for reproduction. How do you define reproduction? We can define reproduction in various ways. Just if we see the word, we can understand its meaning. Here, reproduction is nothing but the individual can produce new individual of its own type. That is what we call it as a reproduction. So that here, reproduction is a biological process. Reproduction is a biological process, okay, in which individuals produce individuals produce offspring. Offspring are young ones. Young ones. Offspring are young ones of their own type. Their own type or their own kind. If you don't use this word, the definition becomes meaningless. It is a biological process, okay, in which every individual produce their young ones or their offsprings. They produce young ones. They produce offspring. That young one which is produced, that must be similar to itself, similar to its parents. Okay, and that whole process, what we call it as a reproduction. Now, this is a definition for reproduction, and there are various types of reproductions. Types of reproductions. So these are all basic concepts everybody can understand. What are the different types of reproductions? There are mainly two different types of reproductions. Two major types of reproductions. One is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. And another one is called sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. At least you can understand these two words. So I told you your definition, and I am talking about the types of reproductions. One is asexual reproduction and another one is called as a sexual reproduction. Now, what is the meaning of this asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction? So in first PUC, almost in 40% of the syllabus, we have come across these words. Okay. Now, the meaning of asexual reproduction is when offspring is produced. When offspring ನೋಡಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಬರೆದಿರಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನು ಎರಡು ಶಬ್ದಗಳನ್ನು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರಿಬಾರ್ದು. OFF ಮತ್ತು SPRING ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಬರಿಬಾರ್ದು. ಆಫ್ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಯಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್. Young one is produced. When offspring is produced by single parent. Offspring is produced by single parent. Single parent with or without the involvement of gametes. Please understand this. With or without the involvement of gamete formation is called asexual reproduction. So I think I hope you are following the definition for this asexual reproduction. Offspring is produced. New individual is produced. Young one is produced by only one parent. This is very, very important. Only single parent is involved in the production of a new individual. With or without the involvement of a gamete formation is called as asexual reproduction. Okay? And let us see some more aspects regarding this. So this is the definition for asexual reproduction. Second one is, second character from this asexual reproduction itself. When offspring or young one is produced by a single parent, that new individual or the young one which is produced young one produced by asexual reproduction, young one which is produced by asexual reproduction is morphologically and genetically similar to its parents. So please read the sentences carefully. You can understand the inner meaning of it. When the young one or the offspring or the new individual which is produced by asexual method of reproduction, which is exactly similar to its parents only. Not only morphologically it is similar, and it will carry all the genes of its parents. So therefore it is morphologically and genetically similar to its parents. Okay, genetically it will carry all the genes, I told you already. So therefore it is morphological, new individual or young one which is produced by asexual reproduction is morphologically and genetically similar to its parents, and such individuals are called clones. So they are called as clones. Please remember this. In future examinations they may ask a question, what is a clone or what are clones? Then you must have in your answer paper these two words, morphologically, genetically. If this is not there, then you will not get marks and answer will not become correct. Okay, that individual should be morphologically and genetically similar to its parents. Okay, so this is very, very important characteristic feature of this asexual reproduction. Okay, and now let us understand. Next one is sexual reproduction. Now this is about asexual reproduction in organisms. Okay, let's move to the sexual reproduction. So regarding this sexual reproduction, so now how do you define this sexual reproduction? Okay, opposite to that, when offspring is produced by the two parents, so there is an involvement of a two parents of, just if you write only two parents, that becomes, sometimes it may become incorrect. Okay, you should add two parents of opposite sex. This is very, very important. Okay, so during the process of sexual reproduction, there is an involvement of a two parents of opposite sex. It means one is a male and another one is a female individual. Okay, so this is one important characteristic of this sexual reproduction. Second one is, there is a formation and fusion of gametes takes place. Formation and fusion of gametes. Gametes will form, sex cells will form and they will fuse, opposite gametes, male gamete and female gamete. They form and they fuse. Okay, and when there is a fusion of a gametes takes place and it results in the formation of a unicellular structure known as zygote. That zygote later it develops into new individual. Okay, ಈ ರೀತಿ formation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. When there is a fusion of male and female gametes, and that new individual which is produced by this act of sexual reproduction, they are not exactly similar to their parents. They are not morphologically similar to their parents, they are not genetically similar to their parents, so that we cannot call them as a clones. The offspring, young one, which are produced by sexual reproduction are not clones because they are not genetically and morphologically similar to either of parents. Okay, therefore they are not clones. The new individual which are produced by act of sexual reproduction, they carry the characteristics of both the parents. They carry the characteristics of both the parents. They have some new combination of a characteristics. So therefore they are not exactly like male partner or not exactly like a female partner. So the new individuals will have new characteristics. So therefore they cannot be considered as clones. So these are some important differences between this asexual and sexual reproduction. So in your PUC examination, you may get a question that the difference, write the differences between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Then you have to list these differences. Okay. So this is about reproduction, definition and types of reproductions.